So today we're gonna elevate eggplant beyond your mom's recipes. This is more like a chef table type dish, but it works beautifully with any meat dish or a bowl of rice. Either way, let's go. For this recipe, we want male models. Let me clarify. The eggplant should be male and relatively skinny, like a cucumber. Because the female eggplants, they have a lot of seeds. And so when you have a lot of seeds, it leaves less room for the flesh. So you don't want to just be munching on seeds. Now, if you go online, they say the male ones have a little circle on the bottom here. And the females have a dash on the bottom. Daniel, picture please. Good. And like everything else in life, it's so easy to give out advice. You would think just look for the circles, but then what do we call this? Is that a circle? Is that a dash? Is it confused? I don't know. We'll see if this one has a lot of seeds. I gave these guys a nice wash and then we will take them off. Next we want 3 to 4 centimeter cuts. Maybe we'll do up to the second crease in your pinky finger. And good, we were spot on. See, barely any seeds. This is perfect. Same thing for here. What do you guys think? This is gonna have some seeds. Was this a male or a female? Oh, okay, very good. This one was a male too. If you look at this middle one, that cucumber size one, this one is perfect for this dish. These other fat ones, they're getting a little too fatty. I should mention, we got this recipe from a Korean neighbor blog called Macrobiotics, and it is amazing. All right, and our base sauce is Korean Doenjang. We're gonna do 2 tablespoons of this in. This is fermented soybean paste. You can also use miso paste. It's gonna taste a little bit more subtle. Then we need about a half tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, half a tablespoon in, then 1 tablespoon of mirim or rice wine. And finally, we wanna give it a little bit of sweetness. 1 tablespoon of some good old honey. Honey, baby. Do, 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 do. Is that the right one? What a crazy combination, no? And since we're all home chefs, you do want to give this a try, just to see. Interesting. Next, X marks the spot. Don't go all the way through, maybe 3/4 of the way down, so that we can open it up, right? Don't you remember that origami game? Something like this. All right, and then try to find the cutest spoon that you have in your kitchen. You want the sauce spilling out the sides, that way you know you got enough, and then a little on the top. You know, this reminds me of the oisobagi, which is the cucumber kimchi. It's not the salad one, which is cut very thin, but there's one that looks very similar to this. And one final thing, to make this look pretty, at the end we're gonna garnish with green onions and chop it as thin as possible. These are one of those dishes that you want it like very thin. All right, that looks good to me. Sounding a little bit light. Hopefully I can make it through. First, let's get this frying pan hot. We're not gonna cook on a high heat, but we just wanna, you know, we're hungry. Put a little bit of oil, good amount. And once the oil is hot enough, I want you to reduce it to a low heat. And then the cut is facing up, so I want you to put them bottom down first. The eggplant is filled with water, so when that water seeps out, it's gonna mix with the oil and it's gonna splatter. That's when we put our lid on. And then just give it a little shake. Don't knock them over, but just so you know they're not sticking. The strategy here is we're gonna let them cook halfway on the bottom side. There's not any sauce down there, so it's not gonna burn. And then halfway in, we're gonna give them a flip so that that top side gets a nice like browning on top along with the sauce. And then we're gonna pull them. Does that sound good? Good. All right, after around 2 minutes, I want you to give it a check. Flip each one over. It's cooking down, so it's not as rigid as it used to be. After you flip them, there's a lot of liquid now. I would raise the heat to about a medium, flame on. Put the lid back on, and then I would give it anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes. Give it a peek once in a while to make sure it's not burning, but you want it fully cooked through. And after 2 to 4 minutes, open it up, flip it back over. Oh, beautiful. Turn off the heat. This is perfect timing. If I cook for any longer, these are not gonna be able to stand by themselves, right? They're getting too, you see how tender this looks? This looks like something I roasted in the oven at 350 for 2 hours. But this is some nice frying pan action. Oh my gosh, now this is kind of looking like eel, like uni. It's interesting. We're gonna sprinkle just a little bit of sesame seeds over the top. And that doenjang paste, remember, it's pretty heavy, so we want to lighten it up. And remember that lemon that we used? Rub the peel against the grater and let's get that zest. And be very generous with the lemon zest. It just it cuts through everything. I love it. And then we're gonna hit it with our green onions all over the top. Why don't we make it stack? All right, and there it is. Now it really does look like sushi. So a little close up. Enjoy the view, guys. I say we get the little one up front. You can just open it up. Tear a piece for yourself. It almost looks like fish. Get a little bit of the green onions on top. And then take a bite. Oh, you get the flavor of the doenjang in the back, but it's sweetened with the honey. So it almost tastes like a glaze. And then a few seconds later, you get like a nice little kick from the lemon zest and the green onions. Oh. It's good.